Wait, what?
Blood that stated that if you don't surrender, I'll kill another pillar of your community each night.
Right, right.
Okay, well, we don't have the audio for that part because my computer was being weird. I'm heard, but you guys weren't.
Oh well.
Here's a good question. How are we supposed to surrender to someone? They haven't given us a place or a way to surrender.
Yeah, you're probably you have the thought process that he's probably not used to this whole thing.
Yeah, he's a bad negotiator, but okay, we'll wait.
Yeah, bad negotiator, good killer though. Props for that. You managed to save the kobold before he could shoot the kobold. Then he basically magic grenaded the kobold, and it still didn't work.
Because Amazing Dwarf is amazing, and I healed him up a little bit after that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just a dwarf and his family help saving the world.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I was listening back to the recording, and you came up with part of that dwarven stuff during a break. Because I heard you thinking that out loud.
Well, I was talking about like the dwarf stuff. If I should have included the dwarves in this, because I've had like the idea for those types of dwarves for a while.
Well, yeah, but like one of the comments you made during a break was, that's how dwarves are in here. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Though to be fair, I kind of did the same thing in South Reaches, where it's like I just like randomly asked Alex whether or not female dwarves had facial hair because he was a female dwarf.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah. No.
It looks like the raiding party has left.
Okay.
Currently, it is nighttime.
You mean the one member we didn't kill?
Yeah. Your assumption from what happened is that there was probably another group and this was the distraction.
Well, they were also trying to steal stuff, so...
Yeah. Double value from it. If it got away, they got stuff. If it didn't, well...
It was a distractive pincer movement. Too bad Quee's not intelligent enough to realize that herself. Are either of us intelligent enough to realize that?
Maybe.
Nope. I have a negative to my intelligence.
I believe.
I just have a 0, but still.
Yeah, but the rest of the night passes uneventfully.
Okay.
And in the you wake up in the morning fresh in your rooms in the Dancing Dragon. And what do you do?
I try to get the dragon to stop dancing. Oh, wait.
Huh. Yeah, good luck with that. Well, shoot, I'll wake up, go downstairs and ask the barkeep if there was any news of anything last night.
The barkeep's is Shanks.
Oh, right.
After you all went to bed, nothing really.
Well,
looks like Longtooth's going to have his work cut out for him, though.
Indeed. Speaking of, I might want to take a cup of coffee to him, just in case.
He slides down a cup for you.
Appreciate it. I will make sure to pay him. What sounds good? Like, I don't know.
He holds up a hand when you like dig through your money. He's gonna need it.
Fair enough. A sharp sheriff is a safe sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Quee mumbles, "You mean sheriff that's not hungover?"
Yes, indeed.
And at that point, you do hear a little bit of arguing outside, in a tongue you've heard a couple of times before. And to clarify what Draconic sounds like in this setting, it has unlike the normal what most people associated with dragons, which is the serpentine type stuff. It's more of an earthen type of thing. It is especially with among dragonborns and full-on dragons, the movement of tectonic plates, the shifting of stones in a mountain.
Hmm.
So it's
Okay.
closer to Earth Elemental language than...
Yeah.
It's sharp and deep.
Whereas, like, kobold being smaller and less important would be like the scattering of pebbles, or the movement of small stones or dust.
Okay. Cool. Well, I guess I will, in one hand, in my shield hand, holding the cup of coffee, draw my sword in the other hand, and walk outside to see what's going on.
You see your silver dragonborn friend and another dragonborn who is younger and seems to be very peeved at him, like, finishes what he says, does the whole nostril flare thing, and kind of stomps off.
Just in passing, when you say children, huh? No respect for their elders.
He nods, just shakes his head. You notice as the other dragonborn was leaving, he had a different symbol around his neck.
Oh. Is he actually your child? I was just assuming.
Well, they have different religious symbols, whereas the silver dragonborn has the symbol of Kerr. The other one has another draconic figure. Due to your newfound knowledge and the fact that it seems to be made of obsidian with basically just two pieces of amber for eyes, you assume it's a symbol of Adrastia.
Oh, okay. And what color scales is the one, the younger one?
He seems to be red.
Okay.
He has a slight tinge to orange on some of his frills, but you assume it's mainly that he hasn't kind of fully grown into himself.
Okay. Well, I will ask our wonderful Bardic silver dragonborn friend.
Yeah, by the way, you haven't asked for his name yet, if you're wondering why I haven't mentioned it.
Thank you. Yes, I will say, I am very amiss. I apologize. We have been in the town for, 2 days now and still have not asked your name. I will introduce myself. I am Takeo Burnsides.
Yes.
Who might you be?
I apologize as well. I get excited whenever I hear tales and often forget to introduce myself. I am Rodon.
Rodon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, should we expect any trouble from the young red dragonling? Dragonling? That's a terrible word. I apologize. Dragonling, or is it just a friendly spat?
I wouldn't expect trouble. You know how people get when they go looking for something and don't find it.
Yes, very, very much. Well,
I assume that's for Longtooth, as he nods to the coffee cup.
Yes, it's best to start the day sharp versus dull.
All right, I'll not keep you any longer.
We'll see you for tonight's performance. I assume there will be one.
Yes, there, of course. Why wouldn't there ever be?
Perfect, and we'll just part ways then.
Yeah, he heads into the inn.
See, I'm debating on whether or not I was in the inn discussing grogs with the barkeep because of a conversation that Michael and I had during the last podcast, or if I followed you out. I think I followed you out.
Okay. Yeah, we might have to investigate what different breweries and microbrews we have around here.
No, it was Skull and Shackles?
Yeah. There was a Pathfinder Adventure Pass where the first level grog you could drink would deal a D6 con damage to you if you failed the con save.
Shit!
Yeah, level 1, by the way.
I was going to ask if you had
Okay.
any exotic grogs, but I did say Quee
Yeah.
doesn't drink, so
Yep.
we're just moving on.
Yeah. As you make your way to the sheriff's office, uh, and this is to slightly clarify on the situation also of the Kenku, you do notice a few Kenku on their way to the rails eye the sheriff's office, and there are some of them that just seem to be waiting nearby. You don't necessarily, well, you might know the reason, or you can guess the reason. But if you're wondering, they're more along the lines of like uh, what oftentimes some of the companies did a while back, which is basically keep you in a debt cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. That still happens. It's just not as common. Where basically you get paid in script, and then
Mm-hmm.
not real money. So even if you,
But yeah,
so
and then
you
you get
have to stay
charged
in the town.
anyways.
Yeah, so you have to stay in the town to spend it, and then there's an exchange rate, but it's really really bad. So
Yep.
that's usually that's tends to be how that works.
I'll catch the eye of one of them. Actually, here, let me do a perception roll. First roll of the night.
It's the first number.
Yeah.
12. Do I see any foremen?
You don't see any nearby foremen, no.
Perfect. I'll catch the eye of one of them and say, "Hope is on the horizon, brother." And then I'll keep walking.
That one just looks at you, looks back at the sheriff's office,
I don't think he believes you. First of all,
and he just says, and you hear the voice of the sheriff. Don't worry. Most often, the people who deserve it get what's coming to them.
Oh.
see that could be taken two very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Quee turns to you and says, "You know, if you keep saying things like that to them, and they repeat things in the same voice that people say, you're probably going to get tracked back to."
That's fair. Well, as someone who is here to spread the word, I'm only here to bring some hope, especially in such areas. And if that comes with consequences, I will bear them. But I appreciate that concern. It's good to know I have someone watching my back.
Everyone needs someone watching their back.
I am a little concerned if that were they
Was that a warning, or
is that them saying, like, is that their premeditative, like, we're gonna kill the foreman? Or is that
I don't know.
yeah,
You can insight for me if you'd like to know.
It could be they.
I
Want
will do
revenge.
that.
Oh wow.
Judging from the relationship and whose voice they used,
Mhm.
assume that if that kobold leaves by himself, he might go missing very quickly.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That's fair. All right, cool. Well,
yeah, it doesn't seem
correct
they're
me.
currently trying to murder the foreman.
Perfect.
Currently.
Um,
Oh, I did not notice that. Okay.
well, I guess we head to the office and go say good morning.
Yeah, when you enter, there is some stuff being shuffled around, and you do see the bugbear has slightly organized thing, and he has some papers on his desk. He looks a little bit like hell.
I mean, he's a
Hand
bugbear.
him the coffee.
Thank the saints. And he takes a swig back. Glad you two are still in here. After everything.
Well, in dark times, I find that a light is sometimes needed. Very few people signed up, and why should I wait for someone else to do it?
Good mentality to have.
I forgot if we filled in the past sheriff about the corruption of the lands, right?
Did we?
I think we mentioned it.
I believe he did.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, right, because well, I know I mentioned that I talked to his, or I wanted to mention that I talked to his friend, but I feel like the battle happened before we could actually talk to him about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then we found him dead, so there was no way to talk to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Bummer. Well, should we fill this sheriff in, then?
That there's weird things happening with the land? Yeah, I definitely do mention that. I don't mention where I got the information, because I'm not sure...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How he feels.
How he feels about these guys. I keep wanting to say Scraven because different setting stuff. Kenku.
Yeah.
I don't know how he feels about Kenku, so I don't mention specifically where I got the information, other than I say that I ran into another druid who had to leave. So I mentioned that apparently the land itself is feeding off of life in some location that hopefully won't come towards town, because I can't do anything about it.
He gives you a look. It's like, I'll keep note of that. Hopefully we live long enough to have to worry about that. And it is not like a disbelieving look that he's giving you. He's like, it's kind of the look of like, great, another thing.
Yeah, it's the look of something else, but it's like, it's something he needs to know. If it starts happening, you basically just need to run from it.
Most likely, this has been the cause of so many of the issues in the current turnover rate, and why the kobolds have been moving against each other. It seems that the tribes have been fighting, and it's most likely this.
The tribes aren't...
Well, it's not the kobolds that are fighting. It's the... What was the other one? The gnolls, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
The gnolls have been fighting over territory, and this might be one of the causes of it. You know, one thing in nature balances or unbalances, and the whole thing comes collapsing down.
That just makes me more concerned about what's unbalancing it.
Have we... If we haven't, I will go ahead and fill him in on what happened on the train, and let him know specifically about the kobold that was different.
The gnoll that was different. I keep getting...
Or the gnoll, I'm sorry. Yeah, the gnoll that was different, and assuming that was the same gnoll that we came across that we saved this kobold from.
He nods. I'm guessing the idea was to get a posse together from what I gathered here.
Yes.
Yeah, we had volunteered for said posse.
And one of the members actually helped us drive off the invading... take care of the invading forces yesterday.
Yeah. And he looks at you too. Nods to himself. Walk with me. Let's go talk to Shanks and see if we can get you guys set up. We might have to change plans a little bit.
All right. So we head back to
we take a U-turn and go back to where we started from.
Yes. Shoot, we should have just paged him. Hey, we're up. Come meet us at the bar.
Do you have sending stones? Because I don't.
Yeah.
Not yet.
As you walk back, you notice that he keeps the kobold near him as you see several of the Kenku that aren't on shift just like slightly nonchalantly just watching.
Is that something...
Did you hear that?
What?
Did you hear that? Because I just lost Michael.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. I just heard a weird noise. It was like doo-doo, doo-doo. And then
it was reconnecting.
Gotcha.
That wasn't happening on my end.
That's sure.
Okay, sorry. So he keeps the kobold close because there's people eyeballing it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he looks. It isn't like he looks angry at the Kenku. He just kind of looks a bit sad that this is the situation.
Mm. Well, I mean,
I don't even notice. See, I failed that insight earlier, and now I don't even notice that the Kenku are doing that.
perhaps we should. I'll look at Longtooth,
Mhm.
and I'll mention perhaps we should cloak or disguise your secretary when he goes out. Nothing too fancy, but I mean, if a cloak comes in on a body or someone, it's a little bit easier to forget he's there if you can't see him directly.
Yeah, might be able to, but don't know how effective it would be. It's often those who suffer the most that bite back the hardest.
Well, yeah, but quite often in my travels, I found that an animal cornered will fight most furious. And as we're getting there, I will ask Longtooth if there are any. Okay, I'm assuming that my character has knowledge of the class of people called artificers. Is that something I could roll for?
You can roll for it, certainly.
Okay, I assume that's insight.
That would just be a straight. It'd either be like a straight intellect roll or a knowledge, probably like either local for you or history.
Okay. Well, doesn't matter which one of those I do because it's going to be -1, so history.
Okay, I was gonna say it could be charisma. Just like
To
you
remember
happen
something?
to. No, to like have like met members of the group or something.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
that's up to you.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
You can roll
I'll
a
ask.
charisma check, actually.
Oh, okay. Charisma check.
It's kind of like circles to see if you know somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, so 13.
No, the 23 is on the second die.
Yeah. Sad days. You've heard of like one.
Okay. I will
You've
ask
talked to a
Longtooth.
person who talked to a guy who talked to his cousin who talked to one.
Who was
that's
his
how charisma
brother's
works.
roommate, sister's cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cousin's dog's aunts.
Yeah.
What does
Which
that
makes
make us?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
I'll ask him. I won't know. Like, I'll mention the name. Like after I'll get to the point of the name, but I'll ask him: are there any magically inclined people who specifically like enchant weapons and items, or build industrial items, such as maybe improvised engines? They're not enchanters, but they're like a step past it. I think they're like an and I'll say like artificer, something like that. Now, do you happen to have any here in town?
That sounds like the right term. I don't think there's any here. We might be getting some on the next train, considering how much civilized folk are trying to make everything nice and easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you come across anyone, or if I do, perhaps maybe we should try to direct them here. I believe they could solve quite a few problems. Being of the the ingenuity, and perhaps if they build, I've heard they build great robotic and mechanical items. Perhaps they could make an army or make something that makes something else.
That would
I'll
be
just leave it
mighty
there.
helpful, actually.
Yeah, very.
And when you get to the to the front door of the inn, a Kenku from the side runs forward to Longtooth and like grabs his arm. He looks down at the Kenku. And the Kenku, in a voice that they're mimicking, which is still in a hushed tone, simply says the phrase, when a binder's loose, everyone is close to the hangman's noose. And for a split second, you see Longtooth kind of tense up a little bit.
Okay. Woof.
He nods slightly, and for the first time, you see him like cautiously open something.
Oh, is this where we find out that he has like a cocaine addiction?
He's already an alcoholic, man.
You find out he's actually Walter White.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, but he opens the door, and you see a figure that you, Alex, have seen because you were in the civilization and part of the temple. You saw them in passing.
Okay.
And in the temple, you heard of them mentioned as the Chains of Doran, the god of order, the head of the pantheon.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. But you can understand why they said bindings, because as you look at this human, you see from the bits of his arm that stay out from his armor, running down them vertically are some basically blue lines, and then a few of them horizontally, almost seeming to make a pattern of like a cage.
Ooh.
And it's repeated on the other arm. And the most notable thing that you remember being as the sign that you are amongst the order. Like aspirants to that order have the like chains or cage iconography on their arms. But the one thing that denotes a member of the actual chains is two bands running around their neck, seemingly almost like a collar.
Okay. Interesting. So they're basically like a, I want to say Inquisitor from SOTOR, but
they're a combination of Inquisitors or like Old Wild West like Rangers that would go out and hunt people.
Gotcha. They're beefcake bounty hunters.
Yeah, they serve the god of order and are very much about the law.
Okay. Not necessarily, about the ideals of right and wrong.
Yeah.
Right, they're
Okay.
lawful neutral, or whatever.
Yeah, they're lawful.
That's why I said lawful
/
neutral.
lawful. Yeah. And you see he's currently having a conversation with Shanks, and turns around and looks at Longtooth and you. And you see next to him that there is a person that is scholarly, but not in the sense of like he can never understand the natural world, but more in the sense that his natural element probably would be amongst like books and everything else, because that is where he's better suited to be himself and do his work.
Okay.
So he basically is a fish out of water here, and he's like looking at Longtooth and this guy. And the binder or chain, as you know them, simply states, "You look like someone." To which Shanks says from behind him, "Afraid if he looks like someone, then many people look like many people. Whoever he looks like is probably dead. Didn't you need them supplies to go after who you're hunting?"
Wait, was he saying you look like someone to me or to...
To Longtooth.
Oh, because I was like, did I do something? Am I in trouble? Like, am I being hunted?
I don't know, judging by your character sprite, you might be being hunted just because of what you look like.
I mean, yeah.
The binder seems to think it over, then he walks up to Longtooth, looks at his one jutting out tusk from his mouth, seemingly inspects it, Hmm. No blood. Guess that fellow did die. As he just like quirks an eyebrow at him, like, I'm not sure. But yes, I do need those supplies. If you could help me with that. And you see a pack flung over onto the bar, which the binder takes and leaves. And the scholar looks kind of like out of place, like, why are you leaving me? Don't.
Okay.
Does the scholar run after him then?
I heard there was a sheriff in town, and I'm a lawkeeper. I help the transition between. He's like looking around for like if anyone will tell him where the sheriff is.
Is
not me.
Longtooth like
You're looking
wearing
for
a
the big
badge
guy.
or something? Or does everyone just know that he's the sheriff?
There is actually a badge of office that he has, and the lawkeeper looks at it, looks at him, looks at it, looks at him, looks at it, and kind of repeats this for like a half a minute. Yeah, you can talk to me. Go to the office. Just leave, please. At which point, taking the opportunity to leave this awkward situation, said scholarly lawkeeper guy bolts out.
As he's going, Quee says, "Calm yourself. You don't want to have a heart attack." He's probably past Quee before she finishes the sentence.
Yeah. And Longtooth looks at Shanks and is like, where'd they come in from? To which Shanks replies, apparently, personal train. Apparently they're hunting someone major out in the frontier. You good? And you
Why
see
would
there for
someone need something so big to themselves?
that is a question. And you look down and see that, in fact, Longtooth's hand is kind of shaking a little bit.
Not quite understanding here because, well, here, let me roll. Okay, so maybe I do know, but to put him at ease, I will. I understand how the binders are unsettling. I've dealt with them a few times. The best thing to do is don't think of yourself as their target until you find yourself running for them. But instead realize that, their target is more of an idea versus an individual. And even if you were the target, which I'm not saying you are, as far as I know, you're perfectly fine. Not especially out in the wilds in this land of pseudo lawlessness, many things can happen, and a man can recreate themselves or woman very easily if needed.
Everyone needs a second chance.
Oh, verily.
You certain you don't want to follow Saint Adrian?
Is that the winding path?
Yeah, the winding path, Saint of New Beginnings and New Life.
I do like that idea. Oh, so actually, I had an idea for where I was going to go with this, with my shield. I don't have a symbol on it, a holy symbol. And what I was thinking about doing is kind of representing each religion that I do come across. Like I'll put top right corner, I'll put the sigil of, the first one that I believe in. Like I follow these ideals.
Okay.
And then I'll just keep adding them all on together until, I am, quote unquote, paladin of these beliefs.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So not necessarily that I you take to one, but I believe in many of the same messages because a lot of religions do have the same ideals.
Mm-hmm.
But I will, I will definitely look into that. Is there perhaps a head of church here nearby, or perhaps a religious text I might look into?
He hands you a small book. The cover is worn on it. It looks like it might have been replaced a few times.
Okay. Well, I will thank him for it, and I will read it and get it back to you in a timely manner.
That isn't the point of the book. When another asks you about the road, you give it to them, and then they give it to the next, and the next. And when you flip it open real quick, you notice that it isn't fully written by one person.
Interesting. Well, I will thank you for this, and if I come across another who is interested in the path, I will definitely continue.
I thank you for both the distraction and for being willing to accept it. As you know, the previous sheriff wanted you lodged in the posse to go out hunting. Unfortunately, as he mentions for drinks to be passed around, and he is promptly given a coffee, which he stares at a little bit,
Quee takes a
kind of
coffee.
shrugs. Yeah. He
Not
hands
sure what
one
the
to you.
strange stuff is that smells really bitter.
Unfortunately, with the previous message, I don't necessarily know if I feel safe sending out the whole group out to hunt him where he could be anywhere. He has to be nearby, but don't know how fortified. So here's my plan. And he turns and looks at the two of you. And his eyes harden in a way that can only be described as a frost spreading over a river and causing it to become frozen.
Ooh.
I want you to find his supply line, what he's using to keep near here. Cut out his pillars. Show him we don't appreciate his stance. And when his house falls down, we'll take him. You in?
Certainly.
That sounds like, a very reasonable idea. Yeah. No reason to rush in and risk a ton of lives when we can easily do the job with one or two.
He nods and his eyes go back to normal. He stops having his anime moment. Shanks, you got the packers ready? Of course. And then a few more packs thump onto the bar.
Cool.
And
I
then
assume those are for us.
Yes. And then outside you hear a couple of horses.
All right. Well, I do need to make one stop before we leave. Where happens to be the place that I can buy an extra weapon or two?
And he points you off in the direction of the smith.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will thank Shanks kindly for prepping, bags for us.
Whenever you're ready, you can head out. Just don't take too long.
Can do. And I assume that Longtooth wants it just to be us, like no additional people?
Yeah, he wants it to be you two, because he doesn't want to risk too many people going out.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I will take my pack, and I will turn to my traveling companion and say, Quee, I need to arm up real quick before we leave. If you want to come with, you're more than welcome to, if you need anything. Otherwise, we could meet back here and I'd say about an hour at most. And we can head out from there.
Would I have had time the previous night to Goodberry?
Yes.
Okay. I hand you a Goodberry.
Oh, thank you. And I shall consume.
I might as well go with you. I have nothing else to do. I also eat one.
Okay.
Whatever good berries I have will not be available the next day, so unless we happen to run into someone else during this day that needs them, I won't have.
And
them.
when you yeah.
Okay.
And you enter the smith's shop known as the Singing Tongs.
Heck yeah. Everything's musical here. I love it.
And you see at the desk, seemingly recently come back from his forge, is an elf.
Hail and well met.
Hail.
I have come here to inquire about, arming myself.
What are you looking for specifically?
Do you happen to carry tridents?
Roll me just a flat d20.
Hell yeah. Roll 1d 210. No.
I'd actually had been yeah, I do. I've been
Right.
trying to expand my thing, considering, folks from the city coming back and thought they might like exotic things.
That is a very, very good idea. Especially, it's just not something that someone would be very used to seeing out here. Very, very smart. Well, I would love to purchase one or two, perhaps, if you have them on hand.
I have one right here.
All right, perfect. How much are you asking for?
5 gold pieces.
I can do that, and I will, I will let you know how it fares, and if I need any repairs, I will come back to you.
Come back anytime.
Heck yeah. So I specifically picked up a trident because it has the properties of range, thrown, and versatile.
Yep.
So
Nice.
from what I understand about that, I have a 10-foot range for melee with it because it's basically a pole arm. But I can also throw it, which is a 20-60 throw. Only downside is it does go down to a 1d6 one-handed.
The range is that you can make a range attack with it.
Right, you can throw it.
Okay.
Yeah, reach would
Wait,
be...
Wait, so why does it say thrown? Why does it say range and thrown?
Yeah, don't ask me why.
It's a thrown weapon with a range of...
No, yeah, that's why. Because it's range is for anything like a bow, and then it has to specify thrown because you're not generating tridents.
Yeah, well...
Gotcha.
Yeah, it doesn't have ammo, so you throw the actual weapon rather than, like, throwing a piece of the trident off of the end of it or something.
It has the versatile quality in which you can hold in 2 hands. If you would like to, have something that actually has reach, the thing is, unfortunately, a lot of the reach things are 2-handed. All of them, actually, from what I can see. So if you'd like to say you didn't get that, we can, because...
Well, does it say it's versatile?
It is versatile.
It is versatile.
Doesn't that make it...
Versatile is you can hold it in 1 hand and attack with it and have the regular damage, or you can hold it in 2 hands and deal the different damage with it.
Yeah, which is usually 1 damage die up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That's perfectly fine. I will still keep with the trident because that just sounds like so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is this the character that I have? No, I think that's my other character that no, Aircoin's the one that has the net.
Actually,
I'm just thinking gladiators.
Because I am proficient with martial weapons. Is a net a martial weapon?
I could look here for you. It is a martial range weapon.
Oh, okay, it is. That's...
Okay, I will ask him if he's got a net too.
Certainly, 1 gold piece if you're looking for it.
Heck yeah.
Question.
Answer?
Quee just mentions this offhandedly. Do you think we would be better suited to be able to disappear or to deal damage?
That's a good question. I believe our best option, especially since what we faced on the train, if we become overwhelmed, would to be able to disappear, just to be safe. But that's, I mean, really up to dealer's choice. I like to. That's why I have a shield. I try to play a little bit safer.
Well, it's not in that type of disappear. It's more like you can't be tracked.
That actually is probably a lot smarter, especially since we're out here and we're in an area that we don't know near as well. It'd be unfortunate if something got the drop on us.
Okay, so mechanically, what I'm asking is Moonbeam or Pass Without Trace.
Pass without trace, because neither one of us are super stealthy.
Yeah, that it gives us advantage, or no, a +10 bonus. That's better than advantage.
Yeah, +10.
Yeah. Pass without trace is really nice. Even though, you can move Moonbeam around.
I only have the I only have one level 2. Otherwise, I would grab both. I think.
Gotcha.
Let me double check that that's the case and that I'm not grabbing things wrong here. Let me drop something and see if
you can. You can.
Oh wait,
bounce
no, I can't.
Moonbeam.
Okay, no, I'll grab both then. Never mind, my bad.
Yeah. If we need to hit something around a corner, we can bounce Moonbeam off shields, from what I've been able to tell.
No, you can't, as it's written.
Is it just a straight beam, or is it
a silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius? No, you can't bounce that off a shield.
Oh, okay.
It's too big. It does go 40 feet into the air, though.
Yeah, and then you can just move it around wherever you want.
Yeah,
it's really nice taking down aerial creatures.
So, can the small town of Buck Hollow do anything else for you?
I honestly think that's probably all we can do for the moment. We best let's ride.
All right.
You just stop in the middle of the sentence as you realize the correct phrase.
Yeah, I'm trying to, get in with the, the local jargon.
I should check how many spell slots I actually have, because if I only have one level 2 spell slot, then that won't be any good.
And you mount your horses and you ride along the road. The morning passes into afternoon, and you both hear, coming down the road, someone singing.
I will perception, but I hope I know who it is.
Can I pass? Can I cast Pass Without Trace real quick? No. These are my spells, by the way.
Okay.
You
hear the song being sung. Bring a little lily for the lady down the lane. Sing a silly lily for the one who's heard your name. Bring a lovely lily when you knock upon her door. Sing to all the lilies before they wilt evermore.
I like it.
And cresting over the road, you see a man walking alongside his pack mule. He has a long beard that completely goes around his chin and further down his face. Well, further down his body. It has a stripe of gray in it, not necessarily like a skunk, but like a mark that you'd see upon, almost similar to that of like a veteran. Like he has earned that silvery in his beard.
Huh.
And his hair is wild in the way that only those who make things can have it.
Well, since he's singing such a jaunty tune, I shall hail out to him and say, "Hail and well met, traveler."
Hail!
I'm having a small conversation with my horse about how weird this guy is.
I will ask him what brings him to this area all by himself. It's a very dangerous place.
I trade things.
Oh.
I actually have a few things to trade if you would like to. And he starts ruffling through his pack. And he brings first out a pair of boots. They're gray and appear to be made of doe skin. Okay. These are boots that have a grand escape in them. And he places them on basically his donkey. And then he shuffles in and pulls out a necklace, seemingly made of like bronze or copper, with basically like a river stone set in this thing in it. And this is a necklace that has a bond. And he puts that next to the boots. And then shuffling in his pack once more, he pulls out a piece of hide armor. You can't tell what hide it's made of, but he's like, and this armor has the heart of a beast. You have anything to trade? Anything of interest or note?
I have two things. First, I have this Extreme Teen Bible, which is a symbol. This was the book from which I read when I was first introduced to the clergy. It does. It helps guide those to a little bit more of enlightenedhood. I do also happen to have. Sorry, I'm looking through my stuff real quick.
What was the item that Kenku gave him?
I have a thin stone
that looks like a scale. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll hold on to that for a bit. But I do have a longsword that I don't have need of if he wants. And also, if he needs, I can heal any injuries or, scratches that him or his fellow animal companion may need.
By chance, are you hungry, sir?
I'm plenty fine.
Are you sure you don't want a good berry?
How can a berry be good?
I'm Quee thinks about that.
Is it a berry with goodness in it?
It's I don't know. I was told it's called good berry. It's a spell my druidic circle uses.
It's a berry made of spells then.
And nature. Nature spells?
Most berries are made
now she's really confused because this is really actually a hard concept she's never thought about. She's like, I don't actually know how it works.
His packs don't appear to be empty, though, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But, I'm just asking if you're hungry because this is enough food for a day. It loses its power by tonight.
I am completely fine.
Okay.
Your friend has some things to trade. Do you?
You
You were also given something by the king, who I believe
I'm
it was
not
a
going to
peace
mention that because that's a gift from another druid. No, I don't then. I mean, I have an herbalism kit, but...
And then he looks at you, Alex. He's like, so you have a book that guides a sword with no need, right?
Yeah. That's correct. I'd hate to see the sword go to waste. I know I could put it to use, but I have something that I'm more comfortable with instead. And this book, it has served its purpose for me.
What thing are you looking for? As he gestures to the three things set up on his donkey.
Oh, and there comes the hard part. We got boots with an escape
in them, yes.
Sounds like some sort of boots of speed.
Of some sort. We've got
enchanted.
We've got hide armor with the heart of a beast in it. And what was the other item?
A necklace that has a bond.
See, my character sensors are going off and saying that means it's cursed, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's cursed. It's just that I'm very wary of something that you say has a bond.
Yeah, you break it open and James Bond comes out.
Oh,
heck yeah!
The name's Bond.
Which one?
James Bond.
not all
Sean
of them.
Connery's the name.
Oh, all the bonds.
Not actually true. Would be funny though.
No, but like
We are Bond.
we are. Oh no!
We are become Bond.
Set up us the
We are
bond.
bonded. Well, okay, so just from what I can understand from what he's offering, I assume I'd only get one item for the trade of my two.
One thing for one thing. One interesting thing for another interesting thing.
That is absolutely fair. I will look at Quee and say, is there anything that of these things that you desire? I would be willing to, I mean, I'm
Quee
only
can't
interested
wear
in
regular shoes because she has turtle feet. Quee cannot wear armor because she has a turtle shell. The only thing that she could even wear out of those three things is the necklace. And she's a little bit wary of it, so...
Okay.
I might be able to find something for my packs, but I cannot guarantee what they'll be.
No, I always believe in acting on the first things that you come across. Fate rarely likes being dismissed in the first round.
What would
How
I roll
about-
to realize whether or not this guy's a saint?
Religion?
It'd be religion.
Oh, okay.
He is not a saint.
Okay. Because it sounds like this could totally be a saint, just saying. Or other
give me just one sec here. I'm looking at my armor. What I'd be looking at, just base AC drop.
Well, aren't you wearing like really nice armor? Because you're a
Yeah,
paladin.
It would. Yeah, you would lose a lot of AC. Height is like 12 plus your dex.
Right, which at the moment I would only have, it would drop me down to 14 instead of 18. So I will trade him the Sword of No Need, and the Extreme Teen Bible for the necklace and the boots.
Well then, I will take your book that has a guide in it and your Sword of No Need, and he hands you the boots and the necklace.
Cool. And I will thank him for the trade, and I hope the items that I gave him find a good home. And then if he's looking to do perhaps more trading or find a place to rest, there's, I don't know, I'll point back to the town and say there's a town about half a day's journey there. If you can find your way to the Dancing Dragon, let them know that Quee and Takeo sent you that direction.
Thank you very kindly, and may those items be of use to you.
All right, and I will.
And he continues down the road.
I'll do an Arcana check.
You take a short rest to identify magic items.
Oh, I can? Okay.
Yeah.
So we spend 10 minutes doing that.
Works. Yeah, you don't.
It'd be an hour.
Yeah, it's
an hour.
Yeah.
And you don't like Arcana's like deciphering magic writing.
The thing is, I imagine you can probably ride. You're not like riding away from something.
If we're riding, we're not doing anything extraneous. So I feel like we could just ride a little slower, or something.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Well, do you want to inspect one of these items, Quee?
I might as well inspect the necklace in case it attunes, because if the boots attune, then I can't use them.
Yeah. The boots are called the Outlaw's Step.
Okay.
They have the ability to basically, it's a one-use ability, recharges on a short rest. That basically, as a move action, as part of your move action, you become invisible while you're moving.
Ooh, they're kind of like long stride then. you know, just, or not launch. Whatever the spell is, where you move from one location to another, except it actually uses your move speed instead of just
Yeah, you
Misty Step.
actually.
long step.
Yeah, you actually. Yeah, you actually move, but the thing is, during that movement, you become invisible, basically. And the necklace is known as the Lover's Chain.
Okay.
That again, one use of the ability that recharges on the short rest. That with an ally within 50 feet of you takes damage, you can, as your reaction, split the damage between you and the target ally.
Range.
When an ally within 50 feet of you.
Okay, 50 feet. I just missed that when you were saying it.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a preference of either one?
She looks at you. She looks at her feet. I think I'll take the necklace.
Fair point. And I will pull the outlaw step boots.
Yeah, the outlaw's step.
Because I know that in D&D they don't really have the size-specific armors and stuff, unless your DM decides to. But my feet are like straight up a different shape. So
Yeah, the boots wouldn't fit you.
Cool. And is it long rest or short rest for the invisibility?
Short rest.
And how long does that one last? Just basic minute?
it
is
lasts
when
for the
you
one
do that
movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you split your
each time-
movement?
Mm.
Does it work for the whole round, or does it only work for the one movement immediately after?
It works for that movement.
Okay. So you can't split your movement.
Okay.
Just so that doesn't come up later in the middle of combat and we have to just figure it out.
Still, though, I'm over here. No, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Where are you hitting yourself?
Okay. I like it. Well, where the heck are we going?
I am about to ask you to make a survival check so you can start tracking.
Mine's 5, so I'm pretty sure mine's better.
I have no survival.
I get proficiency.
You can roll separate, or you can.
Are you helping me? Please tell me you're helping me.
Yes, I will help you.
All right.
Do you want me to re-roll, or can I keep the 18?
You can keep the 18.
Okay.
You begin to track many small footprints with the larger paw pads of gnolls. It eventually gets to dark, and you camp for the night, and the moon is gone.
Aw.
So it is a dark night.
Thankfully, that does not affect my spells.
Mm-hmm. Nothing occurs during that night.
During the night, I cast Goodberry. Before I
Yeah.
I'm not going to change my spells, but before the long rest takes effect.
Okay.
So that in the morning, I eat a good berry and you eat a good berry, and we don't spend any rations.
Heck yeah.
All right. And you continue on your way. And during the road trip, does anything occur?
I like how your rolls for the last 2 rolls have just been flip-flopped. 8 and 18.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
But I'm terrible at religion, and I'm great at survival.
Not today.
So it's not even the same rolls remotely.
And it is a peaceful ride until the nighttime.
Oh.
And the
Okay.
strangest thing, the full moon's back.
Druid senses are tingling. Nature check?
Roll nature, yeah. Even with that low, the moon shouldn't be back.
Also, I'm a druid. I feel like I should get some sort of bonus.
Yeah, this was a very easy roll. Yeah, the moon shouldn't be back.
Really? You rolled a 10? Whatever.
Was
So Yeah, what do you do when you start camping for the night and notice that the moon's back?
I will check my druidic spells. Oh wait, I didn't grab anything good for this. I ask my horse if it knows what's up.
The horse replies, bad.
I got that feeling too.
So just automatically, the first thing I
The
believe
horse says
is,
this isn't good. I agree.
I believe that perhaps
I
it
don't
was just
believe I've
cloudy
told you
and
up
we
till
didn't
this
see
point that I
anything.
talk to animals.
Nope.
So I just walk over to you and say the horse says this isn't good, which is obvious, and I agree with it. You've also seen me talk to my weapon and shield, so
So I take it in stride. Perhaps I don't think that they actually talk back to you, but you know what? However you come across important information, not that I say this to your character,
right.
I mean, you got to the end result.
I did specifically say that it was pretty obvious it was bad, but apparently the horse doesn't have any more information than that.
And I didn't notice any, perhaps, like, weather or clouds last night, so I don't assume that it was hidden. And I don't, perhaps time is in flux, being that when we rode with Dawn into town, time seemed to speed up. Maybe there's an issue surrounding this area.
Pretty sure I didn't roll high enough on nature for that. But could I make an Arcana check to see if it's magical?
Yes, you can.
Probably won't be great. Oh, hey, look, 16.
Not bad.
Oh my goodness.
It seems like something that would either be the cause because of magic or something not of like this realm, basically.
It's not natural to this realm.
Uh-oh.
Or
Things.
either that was me. Yeah. It's
So
either
how did
magical
you want to do
or
watches?
not. I'm wishing I grabbed dark vision now. I guess it's a full moon. Never mind. Dim light. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just disadvantage on your perception and passive, and -5 from your passive.
Instead of complete blindness.
I've got dark vision.
Right. Actually, it depends. We're in the desert, right?
Yes.
The sky's completely clear,
Yes.
and it's a straight up full moon.
Yeah, so there actually is light.
So it's really light out, actually.
Mhm.
I mean, it might mechanically still be dim light, but if you've ever been out on a really clear full moon night, it is very bright still.
So what do you guys do?
I should probably take the watch that ends in the sun coming up. So I'll probably take the second watch.
Okay, yeah, I'll take first watch.
Since it's already getting dark.